You may think that you don't need a FamilySearch account because you're not going to put your information out there for the whole world to see, but you need a FamilySearch account in order to access records. So I went to the Massachusetts website. I'm looking at the digital records at the Massachusetts Archives, specifically this Vital Records 1841 to 1925. I'm looking for anyone named Bentley who died in Springfield between the years of 1900 and 1910, and I come up with 3 names. And I'm going to look for Daniel. Now died in 1909 in Springfield, volume number 92, page 150. Whenever possible, you want to find and look at the original record. There's pretty much always extra information to find that turns out to be a real gem. So where do I find this book? Here it says I can look at the digital records at this link. So I clicked on that and it gives me the various records. I clicked on the deaths and it brings me to FamilySearch. So I typed in Bentley, died in Springfield, and I clicked on search. And it brought me to the sign-in page. Now, when you sign into FamilySearch, FamilySearch is owned by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And when you set up an account, they will not sell your information, they will not spam you, and they will not send the missionaries to your door. They believe in making these records free for everyone to use. So the account is free, it will always be free, and you really need it to look at these original records. So I signed in. Went back to my search, Bentley, died in Springfield, Massachusetts, death, Springfield, Massachusetts. This time I put in the dates, 1900, and since the record went to 1915, I typed in 1915, and I clicked on search. And here he is, the very first entry. He died in 1909, born 1879, born in Stonington, Connecticut, died in Springfield. His father's Samuel Bentley, his mother is Louise Wheeler. 3 icons over here. This one means that this record has been attached to a Daniel Bentley in the family tree, and we'll talk more about that later. This icon is a transcription of the record, and this icon takes you to an actual digital image of the record. So we're going to look at the transcription first. So Daniel Bentley, he died 23 December 1909 in Springfield, Massachusetts, male, age 30, single, white. They figured out his birth year by subtracting the 30 from the 1909. He was born in Stonington, Connecticut, to Samuel H. Bentley and Louise Wheeler. Now we're going to look at the images here. So we just have to click on that in order to see the digital image. And here it is. Daniel Bentley. Died in Springfield, Massachusetts on December 23rd, 1909. And now we get to the treasures. He lived in Springfield, Massachusetts at 34 Greenwood Street. He was aged 30 years, no months, and 7 days. So if you subtract the 7 from the 23, this should bring you to the exact date of birth. I find sometimes it's fudged by 1 or 2 days, but this will bring you really close. What other things did we learn? We learned here that both his father and his mother were born in Stonington, Connecticut. We learned here the informant, the person who provided the information regarding his birth and his parents, was M.W. Handy, living in New Haven, Connecticut. So this is probably a family member because they don't live in Springfield where he died. The state would have had to reach out to somebody, this person in New Haven, Connecticut, for this information. The other thing we learned is Daniel is buried in Old Mystic, Connecticut, which is not, it's close, but not really close to Stonington, Connecticut. So this would make you think that there's family nearby. And sure enough, when I do some more research, I find that Samuel Bentley dies in 1910 and is buried in the same cemetery.